High-powered JP Morgan executive, 37, accused of sexually harassing and abusing married male employee by drugging him with roofies and making him cry during sex act. Now, this was a big story that I saw come out, and I was like, oh my God, this woman is a psycho. This guy came out who worked at JP Morgan and was like, this woman, my boss, has been threatening my job to force me into having sex with her despite the fact that I'm married. A JP Morgan employee says that he was subjected to months of severe sexual abuse, racial harassment, and professional coercion from a boss. The man said Lorna Hajini, a 37-year-old executive director in JP Morgan Chase's leveraged finance division, would force him to have sex with her, threatening, if you don't fuck me soon, I'm going to ruin you. And never forget, I fucking own you. Now, I want you to remember all of these quotes because they're great. Her little brown boy. The married employee, who is only identified as John Doe in his lawsuit, says the alleged abuse began not long after the pair started working together in the spring of 2024. When Lorna allegedly rubbed his leg and squeezed his calf after stopping to pick up a pen near his desk. The sexual advances intensified from there, with Lorna allegedly spiking his drinks with date rape drugs and insulting John's Indian heritage multiple times, calling him her little brown boy. According to his reports, later that year, she showed up at the man's apartment and allegedly made overt sexual advances. When the man refused, she threatened his job. Do you want to get promoted at year end or not? Lorna lashed out. According to the lawsuit, do you want a future at JP Morgan? It's that simple. I don't know why you're fighting this. Allegations of racist statements. Lorna then allegedly removed... This is so funny. Lorna allegedly removed her shirt, began fondling her breasts, and insulted John's wife, saying, I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these cannons. She allegedly then berated him for crying and belittled him for failing to get an erection. Stop fucking crying. You think anyone would believe you, she allegedly said. You're a fucking douchebag who thinks he's hot shit, but you can't even get your dick hard for me. The man then claims he begged her to get off him, but she allegedly just laughed before remarking that at least his genitals don't taste like curry. And the reason why I'm laughing at this is he made all of this up. Everything that I just read, he wrote. It's bullshit. It never happened. She was never even his boss. He did work at JP Morgan, but she was never his boss. This is all provably false. She has an alibi for all of it, and it's all rubbish. None of it happened. Bro, could you imagine being this guy's wife, right? And you have to read what he said, she said about you. I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these cannons. Honey, did she really call me an Asian fish head with small tits? Did she really say, I bet she doesn't have these cannons? That doesn't sound like a woman. Did she say that? Really? Are you... Well, she sounds really mean. Could you imagine? This dude probably... This is in the official lawsuit. I bet your little Asian fishhead wife doesn't have these cannons. She would have read this. I bet she cried. I bet he, pretending to cry, said, look what she said about you. Could you fucking imagine? Oh, you won't believe what my boss said about you while forcing me to suck on her toes. That's another thing. He said that she forced him to suck her toes. I mean, if you are coming up with false allegations, I mean, I would have to write down, and she really liked it, and she said I had a very handsome penis. Dude, this reads like this guy's sexual fantasy. Like he wanted to just get dominated by his boss. Like racially dominated too. Fuck, man. You really think management wants some brown boy Indian leading originations? If you don't fuck my brains out tonight, I'm going to sabotage your promotion. Who talks like this? This reads like the antagonist of a smut novel. A spokesperson for the company said a thorough internal investigation found no evidence to support John's accusations. Following an investigation, we don't believe there's any merit to these claims. While numerous employees cooperated with the investigation, the complainant refused to participate and has declined to provide facts that would be central to support his allegations. Dude, what's their house like at the moment? What do you reckon? What do you reckon's going on in their marriage right now, where the entire world has now read that he wrote that his wife is a little Asian fish head with small tits? And where everyone just knows that he has a tiny little penis and he can't get it up. Bro, why would you write, if you're making up false allegations, at least make up that you were able to make her come. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I was sexually harassed at work and she had a great time. You know? Like, isn't that how most real and false allegations go? All right, they loved it, I didn't. This guy's made up allegations being like, oh yeah, this woman sexually harassed me at work and I'm so sexually incompetent and I have a tiny little penis and she hated it. She had a terrible time. She had a worse time than me. She should sue me. Also, my wife has a fish head and small tits. Bro. That's what, I bet your wife doesn't have these cannons. What woman calls their tits cannons? I would say the most, because cannons is a very masculine. Ladies, what are you calling them? In dirty talk, what are you calling them? You're not saying breasts. That's too medical. But you're not saying cannons. That's like cannons is like, yo, dude, check out her fucking cannons. That's like frat bro. I would say, let's rewrite this to sound a little bit more feminine. All right. If I were to critique this man's statement, like immediately, I don't believe anything that's coming out of her mouth. This is like a nice, like a writing exercise. You know, if you're coming up with a fictional story, you really want believable characters. And I want to believe this. I want to believe that there is some hard-nosed boss bitch at JP Morgan that is into racial domination. I want to believe it, but I don't believe the dialogue. The story is almost there. I don't know about the dialogue. Look, immediately, I'm going to rule out, if we were to change something, I would probably change, John claims he was assaulted again later that month, and this time Lorna allegedly ordered him to suck her toes, pushing him to the ground and sat on his face, once again berating him that he couldn't achieve arousal. I would say I don't think that's happening after hours in the JP Morgan Chase office. I would say, look, can we move that scene to a hotel at least? You know? And I also don't think that this woman is forcing you to suck her toes. I don't think that's believable. You're a fucking douchebag who thinks he's hot shit, but you can't even get your dick hard for me. That sounds like a dude writing a woman. It's just not a believable voice. Let's just fix this sentence, okay? We'll fix this and then we'll move on. I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these cannons. That's very masculine. Cannons is too masculine. I would say the most masculine a woman would get describing her own breast would be tits. Ladies, am I spot on there? So we'll change that. I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these tits. That's immediately change one word. That sounds more believable. Again, though, I don't buy the corporate white woman knowing obscure racist insults for Asian ladies. Okay? So I'm going to say, I bet you're little Asian. I'm going to keep little Asian. I like that. I think that's still believable. I bet you're little Asian fish head. Now, there's a problem. If I was doing a creative writing course, I would immediately, in this sentence, I would be underlying fish head and cannons. These two, a bloke wrote that, and I can tell, right? So I would just, honestly, all this needs, for this to be believable, it needs like two small changes. Just get rid of fish head and change cannons to tits, and I believe it, all right? So, and mate, John Doe, whoever you are, just listen to how this sounds, all right? So the next time you want to come up with like false allegations about being racially dominated by a powerful white lady with large fake breasts, this is how I would do that. So this is yours, and then we'll do mine. So this is you. I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these cannons. See how that sounds like a man? Now this is me. I bet your little Asian wife doesn't have these tits. How much better does that sound? I mean, honestly, that's a lawsuit winning sentence that I've rewritten for you. You know? And it really, honestly, fish head and cannons, as soon as I read that, I was like, bloke wrote that. You know, white ladies, because that's male racism. Men like coming up with lots of different words to racially denigrate other races. You know? Every culture and race does this, and it's a male thing. Males are very verbose with their racism. Women are much more subtle. They just do things like cross the street and not hire you. You know what I mean? That's like women's racism is very much like, oh, I don't want to be in the carriage with that guy. Men's racism is like, I don't want to be in the carriage with, and then there's just like a string of multi-syllable descriptors. That is so funny. Anyway, dude, that woman, you know what's really dastardly about what this guy's done? This John Doe character. All of this stuff that I just read out, she can't sue him for defamation because everything that I read out is contained in his lawsuit, and you can't be sued for defamation for something that is written in a lawsuit because it just protects the legal process, right? Because when you're having the legal process, everyone kind of should be able to say whatever they want without springing up multiple other defamation lawsuits and everything, because it operates under innocent until proven guilty type thing. Like you can't, you for example, you couldn't sue a prosecution lawyer for insisting that you're for talking about what you're accused of, because that's his job, right? So this poor woman who's at the center of all these false allegations can't do anything about it. She can't sue him. It's just, she's just permanently attached to this now. There is one photo of her that did make me go, oh, hang on. This could be true. All right. It's a photo and it's taken from the ground, and she's in this power suit, and she has her cannons like up to her neck. And I thought, oh, hang on. There could be something to this. But then I realized, no, that's just actually like what he's written is a fanfic. That's what he wishes that happened. He wishes that happened, and it didn't happen, so he's settling for the money. I think that's what's really going on. is he's been thinking about this and dreaming about this and jacking off about this for the entire time that he worked at JP Morgan Chase, and he probably got fired because he couldn't stop thinking about this cruel white woman calling his wife a fish head and getting him to suck her toes after hours in the office. And she didn't do that, and he got fired for being incompetent and walking around with a very small semi at work. And so he tried to settle for the money. But JP Morgan were like, these allegations are bullshit. We're not paying you out. We're not settling. And then he filed it as an official lawsuit. And now, I mean, nothing's going to happen. He can't, I think, my understanding, at least Twitter's understanding, is that he can't be sued for this. So she just had her whole name dragged through the mud, the poor woman. I feel the real victim in this is his wife, where she has to, you wrote that? They're not that small. Is that what you really think? Do you want me to do that to you?